Welcome back to Management Made Easy. Earlier, when we talked about breaking the deadlock, I wonder if you noticed that the reason we even use the term breaking the deadlock is because we have a goal. In fact, everyone has a goal in mind. Some have smaller, nearer goals. Others have bigger, more distant goals. But regardless of size or distance, many goals cannot be achieved solely by our own efforts. This is what I want to share with you today: how to leverage external forces to break the deadlock and achieve more with less effort. In management theory, Shu refers to opportunity. There's a Chinese saying, "Go with the flow," which means effectively utilizing and seizing opportunities. Today, I will share 3 key points with you. 1. Why must we learn to leverage external forces? 2. How can we leverage external forces? 3. How can we grasp trends? First, let me clarify. I do not deny the importance of hard work. Many people mistakenly pit leveraging external forces against personal effort. But I believe personal effort is about resource preparation. It's essential and must be done, regardless of whether we leverage external forces. There's a saying, "No one succeeds without effort." I wholeheartedly agree with this. But what I want to emphasize is that with the same resources, if you combine them with different external environments, or in other words, different trends, your results can differ dramatically, depending on whether you go against the current or go with it. This doesn't require much elaboration. Years ago, when I was working hard, I memorized an article from New Concept English, and I want to share it with you now. The article talks about how every ship crossing the Pacific is accompanied by small albatrosses. These birds fly alongside the ship for hours without flapping their wings. Why? Because they use the air currents generated by the ship to glide across the vast ocean. If these albatrosses didn't know how to leverage the ship's airflow, they would never be able to fly such long distances. The article gives another example: the partridge. The partridge relies entirely on its own muscle power to flap its wings, so it can't fly long distances. The author notes that sometimes we even find exhausted partridges that have fallen to the ground. Why? Because they don't know how to leverage external forces. They can't even fly out of a mountain range, let alone across the ocean. There's a saying, "One mountain, one partridge," which means that partridges only stay within their small territory. This article deeply impacted me and gave me many insights. It contains a fundamental principle of life and business development. Why do people with similar starting points end up with such different results? One key reason is that different people in different companies have varying abilities to seize opportunities. Successful people and companies don't rely on sheer force alone. They know how to leverage external forces. Next, I'll share a great case study of leveraging external forces Walmart's success. It's a great example that's worth studying carefully. Recently, the pace of social and economic change, as well as technological development, has been rapid. Every person and every business needs to be ready to align with trends. Before Walmart emerged, the retail industry in the United States had already established a solid framework. There was a consensus in the industry at the time. To open a discount store, you needed a town with at least 100,000 people to keep prices low and maintain profitability. But in towns with populations over 100,000, there were already stores like Kmart, so competition was fierce. So were there still opportunities for Walmart to grow at this point? In other words, instead of competing in large towns, it went down to the town level. However, small towns had fewer people, often only 5,000 to 10,000, meaning fewer customers, higher costs, and no profitability. But Walmart saw an opportunity: satellite technology. At that time, Walmart had already implemented barcode technology in its stores to manage inventory and logistics. These were the right resources necessary to break the deadlock. However, without linking the barcode systems across all stores, it couldn't break through. As the saying goes, everything is ready, but the east wind is missing. And the east wind in this case was satellite technology. Walmart was the first to see and seize this east wind. Walmart redefined its business model. It began opening stores in towns, not as individual single stores, but as part of a regional network of stores. Instead of thinking in terms of one store for every 100,000 people, Walmart saw a region of 3 million people as one unit. If the region had 100 towns, Walmart would create a retail network of 100 stores. Without satellite technology, the concept of a store network would not be feasible. You couldn't connect 100 stores in real time, share information, or coordinate logistics. But with satellite technology, Walmart could launch this network model. With this new store network model, Walmart achieved profitability at the store level. Why? Because by occupying small-town markets, Walmart's total customer base grew significantly. This allowed them to make larger bulk purchases, negotiate better prices with suppliers, and achieve bigger discounts. Even more importantly, with 100 stores, Walmart could optimize its logistics and warehouse network. With fewer stores, transportation was inefficient. But with more stores, Walmart could better plan delivery routes, reduce costs, and improve efficiency. All of this led to massive cost savings. In conclusion, Walmart's success today is largely due to seizing a golden opportunity early on, expanding rapidly, and then continuously iterating. By entering small-town markets first, Walmart took prime positions and left little room for competitors. This is the first-mover advantage. Finally, after explaining why it's important to leverage external forces and sharing Walmart's case, let's talk about how to grasp trends. The key to grasping trends can be summed up in 4 words: examine, prepare, identify, and act. First, examine the situation, then prepare, identify the opportunity window, and finally act. It is a bit like an osprey hunting fish. You need to time your strike perfectly, being accurate and fast. The key is to accumulate power first, wait quietly, and then strike at the right moment to seize the opportunity and succeed. A classic example is Steve Jobs. After returning to Apple, he first turned around the company's declining performance. But for the next few years, he remained in a dormant state. People asked why Jobs wasn't making any moves, and he replied, "I'm waiting for the right opportunity to do something big. The time isn't right yet." This is the concept of waiting for the opportunity window to appear. When the opportunity window arrives, it's crucial to leverage all resources effectively, make the move at the right moment, and succeed. Earlier, I mentioned the concept of the opportunity window. Identifying an opportunity window is a complex skill, and it's hard to explain in just a few words. So, I've prepared some reading material on this topic to give you some insights. If you want a simpler method, here's one to consider. Apart from noticing opportunities hidden in environmental changes, pay attention to the big players. The reason for focusing on big companies is that they usually have dedicated teams to analyze trends. When a government releases a policy, big companies are usually the first to spot it, interpret the trends, and act on it. They benefit first. If you're smaller, you can follow the example of the albatross and hitch a ride on the big players' ships crossing the Pacific. This principle applies not only to businesses, but also to individuals. This is Management Made Easy. See you in the next class.